like before the new carb. Kind of hard to put my hand here. So the cold start, it seems to run fine, but that's because the choke is on. Once the choke is off, it doesn't run good at all. This is what it sounds like after it's ran for about 5 minutes. It heated up, chokes off. It's not really running well. This was a carb I found on Amazon. A lot cheaper than the original part from Briggs & Stratton. I think that was around 30 bucks. But this one, as you can see, is 11. Figured why not try it out. Here's the package from Amazon. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Two O-rings on top. Look at that. Set those to the side. Looks pretty good. Not too bad. Looks clean. So we got 2 of those. Except they're the exact same. Then we got this guy. Let's open it up and see if it's clean on the inside. Looks like it's a metric bolt, but a 9/32. Fits it pretty good. Good enough to work.
Basically tighten the plastic.
Looks pretty clean. Don't see any debris or anything in there. Not bad. And look at this one. Comes with a metal needle. No rubber. I don't know if you can see there's a brass seat in there. And when putting the bowl back on, it has this little rectangular portion right here. You want to make sure you line that up with this part right here. Otherwise you'll have trouble getting it on and it might not run right. So, see, it's like that. Put it on just like that. Push it down. Make sure your holes are lined up. We'll get the bolts back in. So the mower's pretty dirty. The main issue I was having was the fuel was leaking out of the carburetor. It was getting all over the mower. That's why all the dirt stuck to it. And then it also got the filter really dirty. With all that fuel leaking into it. You see right there still pretty clean on the inside, but started to deform it a little too. I might have to get a new air filter. This thing is pretty tore back. But yeah, you can almost see right there, carburetor was leaking. Cleaned all the dirt up there. That's why all this down here, all the dirt was sticking to it. It's pretty dirty. I might put all this, put the filter back on and clean it off before I take this carburetor off. I like to use Simple Green. Pretty strong. I heard a bunch of mixed reviews about it, but I believe it works decent. We'll just clean this all off here. Run the Simple Green pretty strong. Do about a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts water to 1 part Simple Green. Seems to work good. You let it sit for probably about 5-10 minutes or so. Let it really soak into the grease and dirt. Clean this off too. Look at that. It's already starting to clean up. So now it's been about 5 minutes. Soaked in pretty good. It's not too hot out here, so it's not evaporating quickly. We'll just get a regular brush. Just kind of agitate it.
Breaking it up well. One more time. One's overheating.
Let's go rinse it off. Just got done rinsing the Simple Green off. I feel like it works pretty good. Like I said, I heard some people give reviews saying that it doesn't work well, but it works good enough for me at least. You just got to put it on pretty concentrated and let it sit for a little bit. Maybe do a second application, but for the most part it works well. Let me dry this thing off, we'll get it apart. So you want to start with these 3 bolts on top for the recoil. It's a 5/16 or an 8mm. So after you get all these bolts loose, 1, 2, 3, I like to just grab the whole thing, pick it up, and just set it right here. That way the bolts stay in it, you ain't got to worry about them. Then you come over here and then you see all the good stuff. You grab a flashlight. There we go. Oh yeah, we're still really dirty on this back side here. So the next thing you'll do is pull this cover off and pull the air filter off. Let's start that. So with the air cover off, air filter off, exposes these 2 more bolts down here. A 9/32. fits on there pretty good. Still a little sloppy, but these aren't on very tight, and that will work just fine. Let's get to taking them off. I like to kind of keep everything together, so I'm using the cover to hold all the bolts and everything together so they don't get lost easily. And then on the back here, you have this hose right here. This captures all the crankcase fumes and brings it back into the engine. Just pull that and remove it. Okay. And then next, you got a bolt there and a bolt there. These bolts are 5/16 or an 8mm. Got two of them, one here, one here. Got them loose already, so I'll just finish taking these out.
Like I said, I like to use the cover, kind of keep all the bolts together. They're not the biggest bolts, so they can't be easily lost. You can't see them here on the back side too, so yours is a little rusty, hard to come out. You definitely get some penetrating fluid right on the threads.
And then there's the other half of your cover. Pretty dirty, I'll probably clean that before I put it back on. And here's the carburetor. Looks pretty similar, except this one's a lot more dirty. So next step would be remove the fuel line, pull the tank up so it doesn't drain, spill fuel everywhere. So I got some pliers, take this clamp off here. Good spot for you to see it. Right there, those little pinch ones, pinch that. Snag it up the hose. These hoses are a little tight sometimes. Okay, looks like it's loose. So now this tank just lifts up. Like that. And then just peel that right off. Make sure this tank's pretty much empty, but you definitely want to be careful with whatever fuel you do have in there. Okay. Now we got the carburetor. Pull that off. We do have some linkages here. So this one I like to do first just because it's the biggest one. This one. Here I got the new Carb. Even has almost looks like a Briggs & Stratton logo, but without the stamp. So this is the front that goes against the air box. That part goes on the Carb. And you just want to make sure these linkages are all lined up properly. Sometimes they'll get all turned around, but it looks like everything's where it needs to be. So first thing we'll put on is the auto choke. But this will go on to this top lever here. Will go into that little hole. Like so. Got that one on. And we'll get this big one on right there. I like to do the little one first because it seems to bend a little easier and not be as crucial as the governor one. So what you'll do is just line up the hole, and then you see how it's like a S turn. Just put it in, straighten it out, get it on. I gotta put the camera real simple. goes on quick. Then just go below the brackets and slide it on. I didn't put the new O-ring on. This old one seems to be in great condition, so we'll just go like that. Seems like it fits fairly well. Confirm the choke works. So right now it's cold. Got the choke closed, and then when it warms up, yeah, perfect. Looks like it opens up. Beautiful. Just how we want that. And sometimes the metal wire will bend a little bit, and it'll keep your choke from closing all the way. You can just bend out the kink. Just make sure your choke's closed all the way, or it won't work. So we got simple green for the win again, guys. Saw how dirty that was. Came out pretty clean. I mean, probably less than 5 minutes. So I'm gonna put this back on. All right, we got it all back together. Let's see how she runs. This is a cold start right after the new carburetor install. Let's see how she does. So it ran about 5 minutes. We'll do a hot start and see how it does.